Wait, we are live. Not sure about the quality today. Zero people watching. They're going to be like, oh, he's going to be late. Or some people are going to join. Let me see if people need. So, this quick live, not sure for how long it's going to stay on, but is only to say to you guys that today we are going to be running a bit late. As you can see at the moment, I'm still on a car on the way home, and our ETA is around, yeah. So half eight is the time I will be home to do the live video. Can you guys tell me how's the quality? Otherwise, I'll carry on from here. Is the quality okay? Is it bad? Is it good? Some people have left already. Like, oh no, this is horrendous. No, yes. Is it good, bad? Can you hear me right? Can you not hear me? See, people don't say anything. 4, it's fine. Is it? Is it fine? Can I crack on? It's okay. Beautiful. Okay. So, today this live is going to be very different. As I said, we are on the car. I brought laptop with me just because I was going to take it home. And I realized now it's time for the live. I was going to do it later. But I was like, you know what? They're going to be waiting, craving for it. And then it's going to start almost hour and a half later. So I'll start it now. So today's subject is going to be power at wheels and power to fly. No, I'm not driving, as you can see. My hands are here. The car is on autopilot. I bought a Tesla, and I got car driving on its own. Today we're going to be talking about the wheel horsepower and power to wheels and power to fly. Now, this is a different approach to it. They are going to read things differently, and it comes down to that when you go and dine your car somewhere, and it gives you. So this is mostly for those that just the absolute value. So it tells you a certain power, and you're like, this is the power it has, and full stop. Now, the thing I found today is I put the 116 on the dyno, and it's a different type of wheel. It's on a 17, and the 10 bhp gone, disappeared. I have not done anything on the car other than put 17s on it. So something had to be obviously wrong. So what I decided to do was, well, let me see if it's really the wheels. I'm going to do a test and see if it's the wheels. I'm going to try a few different wheels with different weights and diameters, and then I'm going to show to people what it does. And so I put 4 different wheels, but with the 4 different wheels, it draw a pattern straight away to what is what, and it's very interesting. What I've seen, what I've learned today. So it just makes me more aware of when I dyno something, I always leave the same wheel entire combination on it, because otherwise it's not going to be a good representation of what's actually doing. So the thing is, I found, so it was making 10 less bhp, and the dyno should calculate the differences. Okay, it does calculate the friction, and how does it calculate the friction? Through the time the wheel takes to stop, and it assumes the friction is going to be directly related to how long the wheel takes to stop, which in a part it is, but it's not the full story, because I'll put it to you this way. You have a certain bearing. Sorry, guys. You have a bearing, Okay, a bearing will always have the same friction. Now, you put a 5 kilo end on it and you start spinning it. Okay, so it takes a certain amount of time to stop. Now, you put a 10 kilo weight on it and you spin it. It's going to take more effort to spin the 10 kilos, but it will also take a lot longer for the 10 kilos to stop rotating because of inertia. So the friction is the same, or to be honest, might be slightly more, but it will rotate for for a longer period of time. It's because of inertia. Now, you can do the same if you go from a normal bearing, for example, you go to a ceramic bearing. As you know, it will rotate for longer, still with the same 5 kilos. Now, why am I bringing this to here? Because when it calculates the power by the amount of time it takes for the wheels to stop, the wheel weight is going to have an impact on it. So what I found is, with the heavier wheels, the car had less power loss than on the same diameter and same tire size. So, but 2 kilos different, what it made, the car showed the same power to the wheels, but when it went to calculate the loss, it had less loss with the heavier wheels. And now it's exactly the opposite. It's going to have more loss with the heavier wheels, but because it stays rotating for longer because of the mass, it shows that there's less loss because it looks at it as friction. It has no way to see the weight of the wheel. So it only assumes it's the friction. It has less friction because it rotates for longer. So, cutting the story short is, it's like, to be accurate on the power an engine has, a car has at the fly, the only way to do it is on an engine dyno. Okay, so I can use my dyno, it gives me a rough idea. And the thing is, I always put the things back to back with the VE and what the dyno says, injected duty cycle. I always combine everything. And now I'm also combining other factors, which is I'm measuring the acceleration of the car and everything to make sure it's what it's supposed to be. But there's no dyno that can tell you the power, how much power a car make exactly. And the ones that are the worst are the ones, for example, dyno dynamics are like this. They have a fixed percentage of loss. Okay then. So today I went from 16th to 17th, I saw 10 bhp less. It uses a fixed percentage over the power it saws at wheels and adds it on it. It doesn't work like that. So that is the thing. If you have a lighter drivetrain, is going to have a different loss from a heavier drivetrain. So this is why, like, you have to really realistically look just at the power at the wheels and the torque it does at wheels. Now, it's nice to have the values there if it's right, but it's only if when you put the car, let's say, on the dyno, when it was stock and then modified, then you can actually have the proper comparison. And this is what I've done. This is the good thing about is most of the cars I dynoed on my dyno. I dynoed standard, different wheels. Some cars the difference is small. On my car the difference is bigger, and I think the difference became bigger due to the fact I'm using a much shorter diff ratio. It's one thing that also changes, but this one I caught very early when I had the dyno, so the dyno has different calibrations for the diff ratio that I have to become realistic. So if the cars on the BMWs, for example, if it's the standard 338, 315, 293, I dyno them in fourth. Anything lower than 345, so 345 onwards, 373, 391, 41, 44, I always dyno them in fifth. So I also have a calibration to dyno them in fifth, but I prefer to drive them in fourth because of the speed it does. So this is the thing is now what I'm gathering with this data, I'm going to work out an average and try to see if I can get something to work more accurately. But it's almost impossible to be on the same level. Now the thing is I haven't changed the power of the car and then it's giving me different power readings. So I'll tell you the numbers. We have on the 16-inch wheels, I'm going to start by the 17s, the heavier ones, 21.1 kilos, okay? And with these wheels, the car showed me 143.3 bhp. So and then it shows it was 168 bhp at the fly, which we will know it's not. So with these wheels, it shows me a 17.7% of loss. Okay, this is with a heavy. Fuck you know. Pardon, guys. Sorry, I don't know where this came from. It's maybe the sun. Um, so then I dynoed the car after with some 18-inch wheels. Some of you might have seen the car on 18-inch wheels. On the 18s, the tire size was the same. So this is to stop variation because it's a wider tire. The tires on the 17s, they were all 225s. So on the 18 was also 225, but sidewall was slightly smaller. Now, this 18-inch wheel with a tire was only 20 kilos, and the car showed 142 at the wheels, and it showed 167.8 at the fly, and this one had a calculated loss of 18%. So it was very very close to the 17. So they were within the same. Then it came down. I tried a lighter 17, which was 19.7 kilos, but this lighter 17 had a tire that is a lot grippier. Okay, so and you will see what it does. It showed the same power at the wheels. Okay, so it showed 143 at the wheels. Remember, this is when the car is accelerating, but then the loss was 172 bhp. So this had a bigger loss than the other ones, and the loss in here was 19.6%. So it calculates as a bigger loss. Then I put the 16s on it. They only weigh 15.5 kilos. So the car is going to accelerate a lot quicker. We are talking of close to 5 kilo difference per wheel. And like 5 kilos on something that is rotating, it's quite a lot. So you have to multiply the weight by the speed and you can see the difference it will make on the car. And with these wheels, the car has put out 152.9 bhp. But the loss in here was the lowest. It was only at 16% loss. So what we've learned from this is there's so many factors that changed the way the dyno reads at wheels. That, for example, having a hub dyno would be far more accurate because it doesn't have to deal with the tire thing. The tires and wheel combination adds so many variants because the first time I've seen this was about 3-4 months ago when I was testing our 1.6 N44 engine. That I changed wheels and all of a sudden the car dropped 15 bhp at the wheels. 15, yeah. But it went from super light 16s to super light 17s, but it had some race tires on it and it lost 15 bhp at the wheels. Now, when it done the calculation for the losses, it's actually matched exactly the same number. So it was okay, but still it's not the best way to see it. So now the thing I'm debating with myself is I'm thinking of buying a new dyno, but now After seeing this, I think a hub dyno is really the better option for what I do in order to read everything precisely. There's no drag to be calculated, there's no tire to be calculated. So the power of the wheel is important, but even on the championships we race on, it reads on the hubs, reads the power on the hubs. So to us, it's only more realistic if we use it. And also at the hubs, there's other safety things that I really like, which is the fact that you don't have to strap the car. The car is never going to fall off the dyno at no point. And to hold a steady charge, it's better. You don't have grip problems. The power limitations in terms of how much power you can put on it, it's completely different. It's only the cost of it, of course, is much higher. But for me, because I do development, is extremely important. So otherwise, I'll just have to stick to this and just look at the power at wheels and make sure I'm not changing wheels during the process and everything. So this is the thing. It's like this only shows what I've done today, that looking at an absolute dyno number, it's not the ideal thing to do. Look at the power at wheels. Will let you understand how quick your car will accelerate. Okay, but then I done something else to make things even more complicated. So I measured the car acceleration, and I had an acceleration test from the car with 17s and with the 16s. Bear in mind, with the 16s, it has 10 bhp more at wheels, but the only real way to see how quick the car is measure the acceleration of the car in real life. And the surprise I had was there was no difference, or the difference was extremely small. It was just over a second, I think, which is a lot. Like, it's not small, it's a lot, but it doesn't show what I was expecting to see. The other thing I've done today, as I was looking at the times and stuff, I started comparing the 1 Series against the top NA one you can buy, which is the 130. And I started realizing a lot more things that in 1 second that don't say. For example, I mentioned before, like the time our 116 takes to do a quarter mile compared to a 130 is only 1 second slower. Stock, it is 3.2 seconds slower than the 130. Now we are only 1 second slower, so we are 2.7 seconds faster, or 2.2 seconds faster. I have to see the times again. Faster than stock, but we're still a second away from the 130. Now, the other thing it doesn't say is 130 does the quarter mile at 100. It crosses the quarter mile at 100 mile an hour, and we cross it at 80 mile an hour. To do the extra 20 mile an hour, our car still needs another 5 seconds. So we are 20 seconds to do 100 mile an hour, while the 130 is 14.5. So it's just over 5 seconds. But the thing is, you see, if you see just 1 second, doesn't seem like a lot, but when you look at the speed, it's quite a lot. And then if you can look at things, you can still see like how much faster the 1 Series actually is compared to our one. In terms of time, it doesn't show, but in terms of distance, it's quite a big distance. And this is something that you cannot see just by looking at the time. So anyway, I'm not going to make this video on this quality much longer, so I'm going to end it in here, because I don't know for how long this is going to carry on. It's an area I would like to cover deeper, but I will have to do other things to cover this on better ground. So I'm going to let you guys go for today, and I will try to do another video tonight or maybe tomorrow. You guys let me know when you want me to do it, and I'll do it. Thank you for staying tuned for this short live, but like, it was important to bring this up, to try to bring it on time. Some of you were not ready, I know, because it was just, I said I was going to do it half an hour later. I ended up not doing that, so that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.